Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor for me to be here. Let me first have a thought for the firefighters and for those who have perished in the recent catastrophic wildfires or floods of this summer. As a representative of France, I would like to share our experience with us, our experience in dealing with civil protection crisis, and present the way we are trying to implement a new management of crisis. I'd like to emphasize on three main points. Prevention, firstly, empowering citizens, and crisis management. Prevention. We all know that prevention is the key when dealing with the consequences of global warming. We heard it at the beginning of this meeting. Allow me to use the example of forest fire because we are all concerned in the Mediterranean region and the way a recent French law has tackled this issue in terms of prevention. France is indeed the fourth most wooded country of Europe, and the size of this wooded areas make it vulnerable to the risk of forest fire. But with the global warming and its consequences, the whole of France is particularly is at risk and vulnerable. The dramatic forest season was for us in 2022, and it revealed the vulnerability of all the territory, including rainy regions such as Normandy or Brittany. We all know that the response does not only rely on the growing number of specific equipments for firefighters. That is why, in response to this growing number of megafires, the law of July the 10th last summer, 2 months ago, was passed. It concerned measures to prevent fires with local and national strategies with regulation and tools for compliance. The law establishes a national strategy against fire for the defense of forests. This strategy must be drawn up by the end of next July by the ministry responsible for forest, for environment, for agriculture, of course, but also by the ministry responsible for town planning, urban planning, and civil protection. And at a local level, in each district, in each departments whose forests are classified at risk, forest fire protection plan must be adopted, and it's important, will be made public. The strategic perspective of this law is to regulate better the interfaces between forests, urban areas, and infrastructures, thanks to a sanction regime legally provided. The best example is the condition of implementing the legal obligation to clear undergrowth, to clear the natural spaces. The fines for failure to comply with this legal obligation have been increased to a very dissuasive level. And in addition to this legal obligation to all the proprietaries, the legal obligation has been extended to several sites situated less than 200 meters from a forest. It's very important to protect the interfaces between forest and industrial plants. The fact that this law has been reinforced underlines that coping with the consequences of global warming is not a firefighter problem only. It implies the mobilization of all the population, of the whole society, and what I call, it's my second point, the empowerment of citizenship. Obviously, governments have a crucial role to play in preparing for and responding to the crisis, but faced with the climate change, our approach needs to be wider and better associate the civil society. Each time a forest fire occurs, each time a disaster occurs, we see the best of society, the best of our society. We see an upsurge of solidarity, we see commitment for the others, we see acts of bravery. Indeed, citizens are the primary actors of their own safety. France, with its legal tradition, tradition of written law, has even graved this principle in the marble of the law. But to enable citizens to make themselves available to the local authorities and to be useful when dealing with a crisis, a framework, a regulation must be drawn up first. This includes volunteer fire brigades, protection reserve, voluntary work, civil services, association, NGOs, and so on. In France, there are 4 out of 5 of our firefighters volunteer who act as a volunteer, illustrating this empowerment of citizens. A global and a local strategy, the mobilization of the whole society. The last step I'd like to shed the light on is the way the planet resources are actually managed in crisis management. 2 main principles can illustrate crisis management in France: subsidiarity and solidarity. The principle of subsidiarity means that public action is the responsibility of the competent actor closest to the crisis. This means that local authorities, the mayor first, are to take action. In each municipality, we have an elected mayor who has general policing powers, enabling him or enabling her to carry out tasks relating to security, safety, public order, or else. But for large-scale crisis, the government will quickly assume its responsibility at a decentralized level in the département, the districts of France. If the crisis is bigger than the municipality resources, the local prefect takes charge of the operation. At the head of each district, we have indeed a prefect, which is appointed as a state representative and is responsible for implementing all government policies, including, of course, civil security and crisis management. This organization is based on the strong idea that when dealing with civil protection crisis, the closer, the better. This subsidiarity is articulated with the second principle of crisis management, solidarity. If the mayor or if the prefect controls operation on his territory, he may request additional resources, additional equipments from other districts, from the national level or from the European level. The underlying logic is to allow local authorities to manage the crisis with the adapted reinforcement, but to give them total free hands at the operative level. We share this very same logic with the European mechanism for civil protection, and Hans will probably talk about it in a few minutes. Having strong forces is important, but moreover, having the capability to work together and to ensure a quick and efficient force projection is crucial. Before discussion and as a way of conclusion, I'd like to remind that the challenge behind us with natural disaster is not only the ability of the specialist to overrun a punctual event, but it's also the ability of our community, of our municipality at the national or European level to involve, to mobilize the whole society. The Mediterranean region is the hottest point of the global warming. We must have a collective and moreover a much more comprehensive approach of our response. Thank you.